Picture a statewide digital infrastructure powering millions of civic interactions, suddenly cascading outward to automate services for an entire population at once. The state of Rio Grande do Sul has formalized a strict operational strategy governing how artificial intelligence is deployed across its government networks for the 2026 to 2027 biennium. This mandate is codified in Normative Instruction SPGG No. 06/2026. Traditional software runs on deterministic rules, but deploying probabilistic AI models across a public sector network introduces severe systemic risks. When these models process training data that reflects historical social gaps, they risk reproducing those same patterns as automated outcomes in modern public policy. This diagram contrasts a linear decision tree with an opaque neural network. The proprietary, black box nature of commercial AI algorithms makes it nearly impossible to trace how a specific decision is reached, directly violating administrative transparency laws. To mitigate these vulnerabilities, the state is ending the practice of fragmented ad hoc AI experimentation by individual agencies. They are replacing it with a tightly centralized technology ecosystem, overseen strictly by the state's IT governance system. The strategy forces adherence to three core pillars: algorithmic explicability, continuous human accountability, and centralized IT auditing. Normative Instruction 06/2026 is a rigid first principles architectural framework built to scale artificial intelligence while legally enforcing civic transparency. This visual model shows how the governance framework operates as a layered architectural stack. It is built upon 5 foundational axioms: trust, diversity, sustainability, innovation, and governance. The principle of diversity and digital inclusion creates a specific technical requirement. Any AI solution deployed by the state must be trained on datasets that reflect the demographic diversity of Rio Grande do Sul, acting as a hard constraint against systemic bias. The strategy also codifies the principle of governance and responsibility. The state establishes an absolute rule: artificial intelligence cannot absorb or replace human liability in public administration. Every AI-generated output must be revisable, fully auditable, and intercepted by human supervision before it reaches the public domain. These ethical mandates operate as structural fail-safes, ensuring human civic oversight retains absolute authority over machine outputs. Abstract principles require operational bottlenecks to enforce them. The strategy mandates strict external software approval, implementing an absolute ban on shadow IT. No agency can deploy unauthorized or third-party AI tools. To pass this central IT evaluation, the software must prove rigorous compliance with the General Data Protection Law, alongside state cybersecurity standards. These constraints apply even to experimental phases, like proofs of concept and minimum viable products. If an external partner runs a pilot project involving strategic information, strict confidentiality agreements and data anonymization protocols must be hard-coded into the workflow from day one. All data handling must align directly with the procedural requirements established in State Decree 56528, which regulates how public data is shared. The state prioritizes rigorous data sovereignty and structural security over the rapid adoption of emerging technologies. To control external software vendors, the government leverages its most powerful legal mechanism, public procurement. The Termo de Referencia, or TR, is the legally binding document that dictates the specifications for any state software acquisition. Strategic Objective 3 of the mandate focuses entirely on guaranteeing transparency and explicability in public systems. The strategy legally forbids the purchase of opaque algorithm logic by demanding that explicability and auditability clauses be written directly into these TR procurement documents. This chart maps the timeline for enforcement, establishing a baseline requirement of 30% compliance for all new AI procurement contracts in 2026. By 2027, that threshold locks in at 100% compliance. This shifts the burden of proof entirely onto the private sector. Vendors must adapt their models to the state's ethical standards if they want to secure government contracts. The state weaponizes the procurement process to enforce its ethical standards on the private market. With the procurement filters established, we move to the execution layer of the architectural stack. The designated delivery vehicle for this strategy is GurIA, the state's central integration platform for artificial intelligence. This operational dashboard displays the primary indicator: By 2027, 25% of all state digital services must be executed through the GurIA platform. Simultaneously, 100% of municipal service catalogs in the RS Plus digital network must be integrated with GurIA. Meeting these metrics within a single 2-year biennium requires immense volume and speed in deployment. The critical bottleneck to achieving this scale is not processing power, it is the existing civil service workforce. To solve this, Strategic Objective 6 dictates that 75% of the state's data facilitators must undergo comprehensive cross-sectional AI fluency training. The technological reach of the GurIA platform is entirely dependent on and limited by the human capital trained to safely operate it. When we view the framework in its entirety, the strategy operates as a closed-loop ecosystem. The foundational ethical principles dictate the exact shape of the central IT security filters. Those IT filters act as a strict gateway, strictly controlling the procurement of these execution engines from the private sector. And the output metrics of those engines are firmly grounded by the continuous training of the civil servants managing them. Adopting artificial intelligence in government is fundamentally different from adopting traditional software tools. Probabilistic systems require a framework built for continuous oversight rather than one-off software implementation. The state builds effective public AI by completely restructuring the bureaucratic and legal pipelines that contain these powerful algorithms. This ensures that as automation expands, it remains within the boundaries of existing administrative law. Rio Grande do Sul is architecting a technological ecosystem that is highly capable, yet permanently subservient to legal mandates, human accountability, and civic oversight.